So this little shade spot was pretty nice. I turned around and looked at what was behind me, and I found some pretty interesting petroglyphs, some of the nicer ones I've seen since I've been here, birds and things like that, and just took a break to catch my breath, which would be a good idea when you're out here if you're actually going to really explore this place and not just stay on the beaten path. You know, always find a nice little shady spot to take a break about every 15 to 20 minutes or so. Get yourself some water. You do sweat a lot out here. It's so dry and arid. It's unbelievable how much water you go through in just an hour or two, which makes me think about all those shows that you watch, the survival shows, how important it is for them to find water and distill water and filtrate it and keep themselves hydrated, because if I didn't have any water, I've only been here an hour, and if I had no water, I mean, I would just be sitting under a tree right now waiting for somebody to pass by, because there's no sense of getting out in that dry heat and getting yourself more dehydrated and sick and overheated. So we're going to explore some of these petroglyphs behind us and take a look at what they were putting themselves in on these rock cliffs hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago. So here's a demarcation point from the end of the parking lot. Turn around. Parking lot's just beyond that bush right there, just right on that corner there. You'll see this broken up sign gives a little bit of a brief explanation as to what's going on. Somebody was actually nice enough to kind of leave the rest of the pieces, so if you wanted to fill in the blanks, you could kind of do so yourself, so to speak. There you go. That's good enough. Gives a little brief history of the area. And as you see, this is the beginning of the trail. It's about a good half a mile, 3/4 of a mile to the barbed wire fence and gate that enters into the petroglyph site down that way, over there. And let's take a minute to kind of look at the rules and read about a little bit of the history here. It's pretty interesting. Or you go to the right and just walk around that way. Very interesting. Again, about a half a day's worth of your time, but well worth it. Better than just sitting at home watching the TV or doing anything else under the roof. Get outside and enjoy this. So as you're walking to the petroglyphs, you'll find yourself on a easily identifiable beaten path here. And occasionally up to the petroglyphs you'll find these little wooden markers with white arrows on them. Really simple to get to from the parking area, which again makes it to an easy to moderate hike for the day. You can see as you can come through these little old wooden barbed wire fence and gate here. This is the last marker you'll see before you get up to the petroglyphs area, which again, there is a semi-beaten path up there where you can walk around and look around. Very dry area here. You can continue on that way. There are some horses that come through here with riders, and this makes for an interesting half day. Very steep rocks, sharp, jagged rocks. You gotta watch your footing up here. And don't forget to look behind you, because you'll miss stuff. If you're walking in one direction, always look behind you, because you'll miss stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Here's a rock that's got a lot of petroglyphs on it. More over here. You could probably hear the car in the background. We're not too far off of a small little county road. But don't let that fool you, because there's a lot of history right next to it, as there is a lot in New Mexico. Right off highways, there's thousands of years of history. I'd encourage you to just pull off the road somewhere and just take a peek out, and you might find an old Indian pueblo or something like that on top of a peak or on a mesa. But this right here is good enough for right now. Although I do wear snake chaps, I made these for when I went hiking in the Everglades. I've only seen a couple snakes out here in New Mexico so far, but that doesn't say that they're not here. A coworker of mine's wife found a rattlesnake pit with about 100 rattlesnakes in it at a school near one of the Indian reservations not too long ago. But luckily that was far away and not here at the petroglyphs. But I do hear a lot of creepy crawlies and lizards and bugs, and it is alive out here. So just be wary if you do come out here. I don't feel any mosquitoes, nothing like that. It just seems to be the terrain and is the most difficult part of this, and then the mystery of the place is just fascinating. This area that we're in is the old trade route between Santa Fe, which was the northernmost trader's port from here to Mexico City, and as I look above, you can imagine you seeing how flat it is compared to the mountains surrounding us in the 360-degree area. Goes all the way back that way. That's looking south towards Albuquerque. A lot of rocky structures, a lot of things to look up. And again, don't be afraid to look behind you. A lot of these petroglyphs are hidden in the highest rock formations here. Here we come up to another cropping of rocks. You can see the sharp rocks to get over here. Just to kind of give you an idea. Now this video is barely scratching the surface of this place. So if you decide to, you could spend a good half a day walking around this entire mesa where all these petroglyphs are at. I'm going to try to climb over these rocks right now. I'm kind of off the path. You can see there's a little bit of a path that goes back. Here's a better shot. You can see the county road right down there. I'm about a little over a quarter of a mile as the bird flies to it, but I'm about 120 to 150 feet up from the surface of the street. So it's a bit of a climb. Make sure you stretch before you get out here. Coming up to another little area here with some more petroglyphs. Again, don't be afraid to turn around and look behind you, because you'll see a bunch of them that you've missed. And they would put these here, the natives, to watch over the villages as they went out on their long journeys and hunts. keep a safe eye on their homes and their families. Very spiritual people to believe in all that. It's kind of neat when you think about it. So here we go. Walk down a little bit further on the trail. Kind of flattens off, and I think I'm going to take one of my many water breaks because it's about 92 degrees today. And I'm going to hunker down in that shade right there and look down at some small farms and homes that used to be villages and pueblos long ago. And that's the Sandia Mountains way in the background there. Over there. Apologize, it's over there. Had to look at my compass. Taking a break. Alright, so we're going to have to climb up these rocks a bit. It's about 10-15 feet up. And as you can see, over there, very interesting what they were thinking and drawing of what they were thinking about when they were drawing these. Just knowing sometime there was a young native just sitting right here, just scratching his thoughts into the rocks, not knowing somebody centuries away would be out here enjoying themselves looking at their artwork. Kind of an interesting thought. Well, this is maybe about as far as I go. I don't want to ruin the whole surprise for you, but get out here. It's a nice little day trip in Santa Fe area if you're up this way and you want to go for a nice hike and look at some history at the Santa Fe, northern New Mexico area. Take care.